Good Wednesday evening to you. It's Sandra Shields, and I'm a practitioner at the Center for Spiritual Living in Crescenta. And I'm a practitioner that's a lay clergy at our center, and I'm here to support our minister, Reverend Beverly Craig, and also the members of our community in terms of prayer. So this is our Wednesday night metaphysical lesson, and I'm going to share some information with you, starting with a reading, and then give you some thoughts that you can think about at home and during the week. I'm going to start with a reading from the Science of Mind textbook, and in the textbook I'm reading on page 159, which is a whole chapter on faith. And Ernest Holmes was very big and talked a lot about faith, and this is one of a particularly good passage on faith. And it's called Vitalizing Faith. In order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thoughts which will weaken this conviction. Faith is built up from beliefs, acceptance, and trust. Whenever anything enters our thought which destroys in any degree one of these attitudes, to that extent, faith is weakened. Our mind must be steady in its conviction that our life is some part of God, and that the Spirit is incarnated in us. Affirmations and denials are for the purpose of visualizing and vitalizing faith, for the purpose of converting thought to a belief in things spiritual. The foundation for correct mental treatment, which is another word for prayer in our faith tradition, is perfect God, perfect man, and perfect being. Thought must be organized to fit this premise, and conclusions must be built on this premise. We must keep our faith vital, if we are to hope to successfully treat or pray for ourselves or for others. All sciences are built upon faith principles. All principles are invisible and all laws accepted on faith. No man has seen God at any time, nor has he seen goodness, truth, or beauty, but who cannot doubt their existence? Not only must we have complete faith in spirit and its ability to know what to do, but we must have complete confidence in our approach to it. We must know that not to be lukewarm in our convictions, we must know what we know. We are to demonstrate that spirit, through force, has power over apparent material resistance. And this cannot be done unless we have abounding confidence in the principle which we approach. Pure faith is a spiritual conviction. It is the acquiescence of the mind, the embodiment of idea, the acceptance of a concept. If we believe that spirit incarnated in us can demonstrate, shall we be disturbed at what appears to contradict this? We shall often need to know that the truth which we announce is superior to the conditions that we wish to change. In other words, if we are speaking from the standpoint of spirit, then there can be no opposition to it. It is only when we let go of all human will and recognize the pure essence of the spiritual principle incarnated in us that thought rises above a belief in duality. We should constantly vitalize our faith by the knowledge that the external is incarnated in us. Let me read that again. We should consistently vitalize our faith by the knowledge that the eternal is incarnated in us, that God himself goes forth anew into creation through each and every one of us, and that in such a degree as we speak the truth, the Almighty has spoken. So the reason I decided I wanted to talk about faith is that in the current times that we're facing now, there's just a lot of opportunity for fear and distress and a lack of mental calm, and because of everything that's happening right now with the pandemic of COVID. And so I feel that it's our responsibility as a faith community to help people cope, not only with this pandemic, but also to find a way to vitalize their faith in such a way that it provides a comfort to all of us in these times. Certainly, faith is a trust or a confidence in someone or something, including ourselves. It's a strong belief in our connection with God and our ability to use that connection to remain calm and peaceful and to access any information that we need, any knowledge, any wisdom that will help to support us and help our resiliency during this time. When I do my metaphysical lesson, as many of you know, when you are with me, I usually ask questions and I ask people to talk because I have found that the people in the room often provide the wisdom that everybody else needs to hear. And so we're going to do this together. And even though we're not present in the room, I'd like you to think about some of the topics that I'm going to talk about. And if you'd like to write them in, you certainly can. There's a way to do that below. And any questions that you have or feedback that you have can come to me and I can certainly answer those. But for right now, let's just feel that presence together. Let's just feel how connected we all are and how vital our community is to our support and our faith and our resiliency. And as we feel that feeling, I just want to ask you, what are you doing now to maintain your faith? What are you doing now to overcome fear and distress? So just take a moment to think about that. What are you doing now? Because I'm betting each and every one of you has something that you're doing that's helping you and the people around you move forward and stay as positive as possible during this time. And so whatever strengths you have, I encourage you to continue to use those strengths as we move forward together in this current situation. So what are you doing to maintain your faith? I looked to see what faith is defined. I just looked in the dictionary. And again, it's that complete trust or confidence in somebody or something, including yourself, a strong belief in God. And with our faith tradition at our center, we really believe that we are one with the one, that all the presence and the power of God is right within us. Any knowledge that we need, any comfort that we need, any alignment with peace of mind, perfect health, divine protection, comfort, right relationship is all available and present within us. We're never separated from that one divine life. So right here and now, I want you to just feel that connection and know that that is the source of your faith. That is the source of your trust. That is the source of your knowledge. And with this, you can continue to nourish yourself in mind, body, spirit, and emotion. So important to do right now, to take that moment to exercise your faith in a way that uplifts you in mind, body, spirit, and emotion, and even resonates through the cells of your body. Every piece of emotion, it's that faith can just purge and wash clean anything that no longer serves you, any belief that's causing you fear, anything that you feel is harmful to you. You can just release it and let it go. That is the purpose of faith in action. Faith just really nourishes the soul, and we just need to exercise that right here and now. In religious science, Ernest Holm was very big, as I said, about faith. Faith was really a cornerstone of a lot of his talks and a lot of his prayers, because he realized that faith helps people to uplift their thoughts, to go beyond any sense of lack and limitation. And he really defined faith as a mental attitude. And he also talked a lot about judging not by appearances. And with all the things that are happening in the news and that the way that a lot of us are feeling, it is easy to fall into the soup, so to speak, about fear and looking at the appearances and being discouraged. And so faith really helps us to judge not by appearances, but to go within to that source of wisdom within us, and to know that that perfection of God is right where we are. We can tune into that, and that is really the most important reality. Yes, get information that you need, but tune into that source of a higher reality, of higher wisdom in each and every situation. So that divine spirit in each of us is the principle of perfect health, peace of mind, right knowing, right relationship, divine protection. So when we pray, when we treat for ourselves, or we're treating for another person, we go into that perfection. We go in and declare our truth from that divine perspective of the situation, not judging by appearances, but focusing instead on the perfection of God that we would like to experience right here and now, because we know, as Ernest Holmes discussed, the law of attraction. So what you think and feel is what you create. So in order to create more calm and peace, you need to work on that with your prayers to really embody that peace and calm right here and now. That's the best way to overcome fear, by using that divine wisdom that is within each and every one of us. So what you think is what you create. It's done unto you as you believe. So right here and now, we are going to believe in perfect health, deep peace of mind, right knowing, right relationship, divine uplifted consciousness, knowing what to do, when and how to do it, seeking out credible sources of information, finding ways to stay connected to people and to stay connected to ourselves, to uplift our health. We're going to use our prayer practices for that. And certainly that is something that I am trying to do right here and now. So I think we have a choice of right now if we're going to live our fear or are we going to live our faith? That's really the question. So let's pause for that for a moment. Are we going to live our fear and increase that? Or are we going to live in our faith? Are we going to judge by current appearances, or are we going to see that greater reality of God's love, God's care, or God's concern, God's wisdom that's right within each and every one of us? And so I encourage you to go for that higher power whenever you need to do that. You can certainly call our center or email us if you need prayer support during this time. I encourage you to do that. So again, faith is what overcomes everything, and I encourage you to do whatever you can to remain as positive and connected as possible. So now I would like to share with you some information. As you know, our center is very much monitoring what is happening with the pandemic. We're very much connected to the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. The links to the information I am going to give you are below, but I wanted to encourage you to do what we are doing, which is to seek out credible sources of information that are available to you about what's happening in Los Angeles County. So I found, for me, in terms of maintaining my faith and my sense of calm, really has to do with seeking out credible sources of information. So I'm going to share that with you as a strategy that you can use in addition to practicing our faith tradition. So Los Angeles County has two websites that may be very comforting and helpful to you, that provide some really good grounded information about what's happening with the current COVID-19 pandemic. There is an overall Los Angeles County website called Confronting COVID-19, LA County Responds. And the link is below, but I'll read it to you now. It's https:// COVID-19, one word, www.lacounty.gov. And this is where you can get the latest press information. It also gives you information on the overall county emergency response to this pandemic and other things that might be helpful to you. The second website I would like to present to you is the LA County Department of Public Health.